I've been thinking about refreshing my desk setup for 2025, new year, new vibes. Mainly because I've been making a lot of changes throughout the year and I never actually gave you a full update on my new desk. So my first issue was to pick the right speakers, but that's not easy. Just wanted an upgrade from my regular bookshelf speakers, but CAF came through. They sent over these monster hi-fi speakers and they're massive. They're beautiful in design, they sound super crisp, but here's the catch. They can only work with an amplifier and I didn't have one. My previous speakers had built-in amplifiers, so they pretty much ran off of each other, but this ones were gonna need a little bit more. And this was just a perfect timing for the Valortiva Octa A1. It is sleek, modern, and perfect for any clean setup. And it kind of does look great in any modern and contemporary space, like a living room or even just a media unit, besides your desk, of course. By the way, welcome back to my channel. This is Kaimar Salizi, and this is where I share my love for tech and desk setups. So if you're new here and you like what you see, give me one of these and subscribe. Now, back to this audio setup. It's thanks to CAF and Valortiva that we even got here today. But big shout out to Valortiva for sponsoring this video. So they're releasing their new Octa A1 and it came in so clutch because I was just to have these speakers with no amplifier. And the speakers, before you ask, these things are 14 inches by 12 by 8. The best things that I found for these are the Cantus. Actually, I got a new box here. SP6 HDs. These are the best ones that I found. They are taller ones. I didn't want it to be the taller ones. It would be overboard. And you still have a channel, kind of like to make the cables go through. And they're metal. Very solid, super dope. Makes the setup look even more clean. Fresh out of the box, first you get the user manual. You see the power cord with the power brick as well, and you also get this Bluetooth antenna. This is for the wireless folks. If you want to connect your speakers or you like having your speakers Bluetooth, this is what this thing is going to come in for. And the Octa A1 itself, of course, in a very octagonal design. It's kind of very industrial and slick, but I'm pretty sure that this design decision was to keep it from getting too hot because even after hours, it's just warm to the touch. And this is very important with amplifiers that with more power, they tend to give out more heat. And by this physical design, it kind of gives me a hint that they have some serious heat sinks going on inside, for heat dissipation and stuff. And to give you a better sense of scale, this thing looks to be about a 10 by 10. Almost being a perfect square, and it just happens to fit perfectly in the setup cockpit. It sticks out a little bit on the back, but hey, I'm not even looking. So around the back, you got the inputs for your left and your right speakers. You have a USB type B, an RCA output, your dedicated subwoofer output, and your Bluetooth antenna connection. Up front, you have your volume knob, mode selectors for RCA, auxiliary Bluetooth, and USB, the headphone jack, and the power button. But let's talk about the power. These little beasts can push 35 watts per channel at 4 ohms. Listen to this, the frequency response 20 hertz to 25 kilohertz. I know you might not be an audio nerd and this doesn't mean much to you, but it's a lot of power, especially just for a desk setup and for these size of speakers. Damn, this combination pulls off crazy amount of highs and insane amount of lows. Your music experience is just on another level. Now for low crosstalk, he's got a high signal to noise ratio. He has high pass filters for hi-fi sound, and he can drive up to 100 watt speakers with no issues. And because these devices have different connections from my previous setup, I kind of had to rework my wires, which means I had to buy new cables. But the great thing is I was gonna go from 4 cables to just one, because on a previous setup I had 2 cables leaving the subwoofer going to each speaker and 2 more cables leaving the subwoofer again going to the audio interface. And on this one it was so much simpler because I only had a split cable RCA male to one way going from the subwoofer straight to the amplifier. That was it. And each speaker, of course, they just needed to connect straight to the amplifier. So if you're looking for these cables, check out the link below. And for those of you that are going wireless, connecting this is just as simple. First, you're gonna turn your knob to Bluetooth, and then you're gonna open your app and you're gonna search for Valortiva. Once you select it, it should pair and you're good to go. The power here is just off the charts, but unfortunately to the YouTube compression, this won't give you justice, but we should do audio test anyways.
Yeah. 901 Chevy Drive, look alive, look alive. Came up on this side, now they on the other side. Oh well, dog, we gon' J like the letter, I'm making several waves. I know the mission is same. I made a splash, now all of my passes last like running the race when you sing. I keep it coming like this is a buffet. And if I'm stumbling, I'm in the grave.
So if you're kind of looking sideways at that color thinking it's not your cup of tea, hey, Valortiva didn't skip on that. They have 3 color options: One is the Midnight Black, they have the Sunset Gold, and the Metro Silver. I personally would want the Midnight Black, but the time that they sent me, only the Sunset Gold was out in production, but I'm not complaining because this could either go with a black on black setup like I have right now, or even a black and walnut setup. And who knows in the future if, we could kind of like switch it up. But if you're ordering this today, all colors should be available on the website, so you don't have to worry about it. Because these massive speakers are such statement pieces, I think it was only fitting to pair this with a nice and interesting looking aesthetic amp like this one. But aside from all this, if you're curious about my audio setup, this is what I have going on. Because the Octa A1 doesn't have an XLR output, I'm still keeping my Evo 4, and that's from a microphone so I can do my voiceovers. So to run this, I have the speakers going from the amp as well as the subwoofer, and via USB connects directly to my docking station. But again, because I need the microphone, from the Evo, I connect the XLR mic and it goes straight to my docking station as well. Like this, I have my speakers on the amplifier and I have a dedicated audio interface from a microphone. And if you have one of these dynamic or condenser microphones that normally take a cloud lifter, you can get away with one of these inline preamps that does exactly the same thing. And it's gonna save you one cable because you don't need an extra connection from your cloud lifter to your audio interface. It's basically just an extension of your microphone. And by the way, Valortiva is releasing deals. Make sure you use the code VKAIMAR. I'm gonna put it in the description below as the link where you can find it. I know this setup is an overkill, especially with these massive speakers, but I have zero regrets. I'm a sucker for music. I'm a sucker for hi-fi sound. I love bass. I've told you this before in other videos. If you're new here, hey, just know that I'm a lover for bass, and it's okay to go overboard a little bit sometimes. But let me know what you think. Are they too big? They're big, but they fit. The setup still pulls off. And I want to know what kind of audio you're running on your setup. There are some people in my community that have killer, like over-the-top audio gear that I don't even comprehend. So let me know what you're rocking. And if you want to join the community, I am going to leave the link in the description below, and drop any comments or concerns below. Let me know how you feel about this. Again, don't forget to like and subscribe, and this is me signing out. Peace.